You know, when you go to the doctor and they ask you, like, okay, what hurts? Like, why are you here? And sometimes you're like, oh, I'm just here for a physical. I'm just here for a checkup. Or, oh, I have an earache. Or, oh, I have a stomach ache, right? And then they diagnose you and they like send you to where you need to go, or they just like give you the clean bill of health. My name is Dr. McLean. I'm a self and story analyst. I help you figure out what's you and what's your trauma. And I feel like we don't have a great process for like what hurts you emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Like there's not a great diagnostic for that. We see all the time the symptoms of the pain. We see depression, we see anxiety, we see panic attacks, we see loneliness, we see fear, we see shame, we see guilt, we see the outward manifestation of what hurts us internally, but we don't know what it is that hurts us internally, right? Like we don't know what we've internalized over the years. And so we don't actually know how to answer the question, what hurts? And so what happens a lot of times when people are like, hey, how are you? It's always a superficial, like, I'm fine, things are good, thanks for asking. Nobody's very serious about like, oh, here's the things that hurt me right now. And I will say this, one of the big things I started doing when I was committed to like speaking the truth in love was saying, these are the things that are going on in my life right now. Like if you ask me how I am doing, I am going to tell you. And there are certain industries where that's not like the best thing, you know, but I have committed to doing it. And so when someone is like, how are you? If I'm not okay, I'm going to say, I'm not okay. I'm not okay right now. Thank you for asking. Right? That was a big thing I had to learn. There's a lot of things that I had to learn that I don't think were necessarily taught. Because like it or not, we have a lot of feelings. We are feelings-based creatures. We have thoughts, we have feelings, we have beliefs, we take actions. We have a mental component of our mindset, right? We've got a physical component of being a human. We have an emotional component. We have an intellectual component. We have a sexual component, right? We have these different components to life that live within us, that are just part of who we are. The holistic human is a very hard thing to diagnose. That's why we have like a therapist who does mindset, right? And we have a doctor that does physical, and we have, financial analyst that does financial, and like all these different components of what it is to be human can be diagnosed through X, Y, or Z person. So when I ask you what hurts right now, right? Like what hurts in your life? What keeps you up at night? What are the things that make you anxious? Some of you will have the answers of like, oh, well, I'm worried about my daughter getting into college, or I'm worried my husband's cheating on me, or I'm worried about, but those are not the things that hurt. Those are the symptoms of the things that hurt, right? The deeper rooted things are we feel inconsequential. We feel neglected. We feel not good enough. We feel like inferior, right? We feel lonely. We feel scared. We feel all types of things. And it comes out in our lives. Now, again, this is another advanced topic. I hope you guys are okay with it. You see, it is a heavy thing to be human. Being human is a heavy, and it can be a hard thing. It's a beautiful thing, but it can be a heavy thing. And we don't do a great job of like being in the pits of life. We're not good at it. We don't like pain. We don't like these things. So when I ask you what hurts, do you know? You see, I spent a lot of my life being brokenhearted, right? My heart was broken like from a young age when my dad left. He left at 3, put a huge rift in our family. But I have had I've had a lot of brokenheartedness in my life. I wasn't very liked growing up. I was bullied. Like I didn't fit in. I at my core was always like an abandonment wound and sort of this existential isolation. And so for me, I walked through a lot of life very brokenhearted. And I was looking for this like ultimate rescuer, this ultimate savior. There's like a thing called a victim drama triangle. And I was doing that, right? And that's something we could talk about later. But ultimately, So many people walk around brokenhearted and they don't know it. And they're doing all these coping mechanisms to try to survive. And really, they are not addressing the fact that they are brokenhearted. You can have all the intellect in the world. If you have a broken heart, I'm telling you right now, you will make stupid decisions. Do you know how I know that? Because I did it. And I want to help you not to do it. And I want to help you address the things that hurt, right? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, intellectually. I think a lot of people have school wounds. A lot of people have church wounds. A lot of people have social wounds. God knows I had social wounds at the wazoo, right? So if you are someone who's still watching, who this resonates for, who is in the midst of your personal transformation journey, who knows there's hurts and does not know how to address it, I have something that might be for you. I want to do a free webinar. I want to do a free Zoom group webinar where I just talk to you guys about the ways in which we experience hurt, mindset, emotion, spiritual, sexual, intellectual. I will not cover physical, financial, or social, okay? Because maybe a little on social, but one, we won't have time for it. Two, those are not my areas of expertise. Finance and physical are not my areas of expertise. But the others, I've done a lot of work on. I've done a great many studies, life studies, lived experiences, work on. So if you need help answering the question, what hurts? Then you may want to join me for that webinar if you can. And if you want to join me for that webinar, then just send me a DM, say webinar, and then I will send you the link. Okay. So I'm sorry. I know we get to this age where we have to reparent ourselves a lot of times. And I think a lot of people in our generation are doing that, 25 to 50. I guess that's 2 generations. But I feel like this is the time where we reparent while we have kids, or in my case, you don't have kids, you just had a huge life mess up. And then these things bring us to the realization of ourselves. And we want to be better. And we want to feel better, and we want to do better, and we want to think better, right? We just want to be better. And if that is your goal, you just want to be better. You just want to be better than you were yesterday. You just want to be, you're always striving to learn more. Then yeah, let me know if you want to join my webinar. Yeah, the What Hurts webinar, probably be on Friday. Okay, so I'm on Eastern Standard Time. I'll tell you the details if you shoot me a DM. Hopefully that helps. If you like this content that I give out to you for free about personal development, self-awareness, self-knowledge, brokenheartedness, you can go ahead and follow here, drop a comment. I can and do use them for educational purposes. And if you are interested in the webinar or you have any questions, just shoot me a DM and I'll keep bringing you this content.